Marvel just released their 21st film, Captain Marvel, and I'm kind of afraid to talk about it. Carol Danvers becomes one of the universe's most powerful heroes when Earth is caught in the middle of a galactic war between two alien races. Hey everybody, my name is Justin and I love to watch movies, and if you guys love to watch movies too, you're probably in the right spot. Consider hitting that subscribe button down below and clicking that bell notification for more videos. Today we're going to be talking about Captain Marvel, and going into this movie I had no idea whatsoever about Brie Larson's comments or any of the reviews about this film. I didn't want to read anything because I didn't want it to change my mindset about this movie. I just wanted to go into the movie with a clear head about Captain Marvel. And after I left this movie, I was really impressed with this film. I thought this is one of the better Marvel films. And Brie Larson is easily the best thing about this movie. I think she is perfect in her role as Carol Danvers. She has proved many times throughout her career that she is worthy of being a superhero. From her early days on like Scott Pilgrim to her award at the Oscars for Room, she has a wide variety of films to prove that she deserves this role. And she is epic in this movie. She's very confident, which is fun to watch. She believes in herself. She stands up against the villains. She looks at things from a larger point of view. She helps people. There's so many good qualities about Captain Marvel that I'm excited to see play out in Avengers Endgame. I'm curious to see how her character is going to come into play in that movie. But in Captain Marvel, there's so much to appreciate about the character. From her abilities to her personality to her backstory, there's so much that I loved. And I loved her journey to discover more about herself, because in the beginning of the film she's part of the Kree. She's with this group of people and she's protecting the universe. She gets these little memories of herself on Earth as a pilot. She's drinking at a bar, she's playing video games, so she doesn't really know what to do with that information. She's trying to piece things together, and we're on that journey with her of her trying to discover more about herself. Then she tags alongside Nick Fury, and the de-aging of Samuel Jackson is some of the coolest things I've ever seen. It is crazy this day and age we live in where we can take an older man, make him look young, and it just looks spectacular. I never thought it would look this good. It's crazy how this looks. But the relationship between Nick Fury and Carol Danvers is hilarious. I like their interactions. They have a really genuine friendship and their chemistry really does work. It really does add a lot to this movie, because we do see at the end of Infinity War, it's a spoiler, but where have you been the last year? That he's calling her out on his pager at the end of Infinity War. So I was curious, what is the relationship in Captain Marvel like? And we got to see it play out, and it works really well. Now, one thing Marvel has been doing well recent memory, like Black Panther, Ant-Man the Wasp, and now Captain Marvel, is taking the villain, adding a decent backstory and adding sympathy to the character to where you think, is this person really a villain? I kind of side with them. I felt a lot like that for Killmonger and Black Panther, and the villain in Ant-Man and the Wasp. And here the villains in this movie, they gave us a backstory and I understood them, and I wanted to side with the villains as well. So Marvel has been doing a great job of handling their villains in recent memory, and I like that different approach to these characters. This movie is kind of in reverse, which I was pleased with, because a lot of Marvel films are kind of the same structure. Captain Marvel does everything in reverse, where she already has her powers, and then she's trying to discover more about herself throughout the film, and she's trying to work to where we get to see her in the trailer, flying around and having all these crazy powers. We're getting to those moments. Whereas in like other Marvel films, they, have their power kind of like in the beginning, and then they defeat the villains and whatever. But I like how they already put her in the movie and she already had her powers, and then they kind of had to work backwards. So It's a little bit of a fresher movie compared to other Marvel films in the way they approach the storyline for the character. The visuals in this movie are stunning. The abilities from Captain Marvel and like her flames out of her hands and her flying around in space, it all looks really cool, and I was really impressed with how they handled her powers. So overall, there's a lot of things that I really did appreciate about Captain Marvel. I like the story, and I like the approach of it. It's a little bit different compared to other films. It almost feels a little bit subtle compared to big, grand Marvel films like Thor and Iron Man and Captain America. I like Carol Danvers. She is a really interesting character, and Brie Larson does a great job. She's very confident in her role, and she stands up for the good in people. The visuals are great. The interactions between her and Nick Fury work a lot, and there's a touching tribute to Stan Lee in the beginning of this film, and one of the best cameos of Stan Lee in this movie as well. Also, side note, Goose the cat is amazing in this movie. I would like to see like a little mini series on Goose on the new Disney streaming service. That'd be really fun, but Goose was hilarious in this movie. So after I watched this movie, I went back and read all the comments about it, and I really don't understand the hate, but that's me. Everybody has their opinions, and that's what's the best thing about movies, is people can view things a little bit differently. And for me, I really liked it. I think it's one of the better Marvel films, whereas people might not like it and think it's one of the worst Marvel films. But that's everybody's opinions. But I do think that it was a good time. I'm gonna go ahead and give Captain Marvel an A-. Thank you guys for checking my review for Captain Marvel. You can check out my most recent video right over here, and stay tuned this weekend. I'll be uploading a spoiler talk as well as the updated ranking for all Marvel films. My name is JustinWatchesMovies, and you guys stay classy, YouTube.